Well, hi again, everyone, and welcome back to my 1949 season replay. Good to be with you. Taking a look at the standings through June 24th, 1949. In the American League, Boston and Philadelphia in a virtual tie for first place, with Detroit 3.5 out, the Indians 4 out, and the Yankees 4.5 out. The White Sox were doing very well, but they have slipped lately. They were in contention more, but now they're 6.5 games back. In the National League, Brooklyn and St. Louis fighting it out. The Cardinals 3.5 back, but the Giants have won 8 out of the last 10 and have crept up a little bit. They're only 4.5 out. Cass Michaels is leading the American League in hitting with a 359 average, with 2 points higher than Ferris Fain of the Athletics and 3 points higher than Ted Williams of the Red Sox. Williams has 16 homers, followed by teammate Vern Stevens with 14. Sam Chapman continues to lead in runs batted in for the Athletics with 65. Williams trailing him close behind with 63. Phil Rizzuto has 15 stolen bases and is in a pretty commanding lead along those lines. Johnny Pesky has a 20-game hitting streak for the Red Sox right now. Dillinger and Fain 14. Joe Dobson is leading the American League in earned run average with a 2.22 ERA, followed by Steve Gromek and then his teammate Ellis Kinder following behind. Virgil Trucks continues to lead the American League in wins with 10 and strikeouts with 75. Joe Page with 9 saves. In the National League, Ferrillo is hot with Brooklyn 385 batting average. It's phenomenal. Ralph Kiner has 21 homers. Dale Ennis, 56 runs batted in. Kiner right behind him with 54. Whitey Lockman has 9 stolen bases, but Bobby Thompson and Granny Hamner are right behind him with 8 and 7 respectively. Lockman, New York Giants, 26-game hitting streak this season. Uh, Pofko is Andy Pofko with a 21 and Hodges with an 18. Sheldon Jones with the Giants, 1.68. And Bob Chesney's of Pittsburgh, below 2.0, also with 1.95. Larry Jansen and Sheldon Jones both tied for the league in wins with 9. Warren Spahn, 74 strikeouts for the Boston Braves. And Ted Wilkes has 11 saves with Hugh Casey, the veteran, close behind him with 10. So let's play, sim some games, and then we'll play a live one. St. Louis played Boston that day with Bill Kennedy on the mound for the Browns versus Mel Parnell. And St. Louis wins that game in 10 innings, 3-2. Ray Shore gets the win. He is now 1-0. Earl Johnson takes the loss for the Red Sox, 2-4. Player of the game, Mel Parnell with the Red Sox. And Vern Stevens hit his 15th home run for Boston in a losing cause to the Browns, winning 3-2. Chicago was at Philadelphia. Howie Judson on the mound for the White Sox versus Dick Fowler. 8 wins for the Athletics. And Chicago wins this game 4-2. No homers. Howie Judson is going to get the win. He is now 5-3. And Dick Fowler is going to take the loss. He is 8-3. Player of the game, Cass Michaels. Al Gettle gets the save. That's his 4th. Cass Michaels, player of the game, and the reason he is rewarded that is that he went 3 for 4 in that game with 2 runs batted in. So Chicago wins it 4-2. I'm going to play the Detroit New York game, so we'll move over and quick play the only other American League game that day, Cleveland at Washington. Frank Papish on the mound for the Indians, Mickey Harris on the mound for the Nationals, and Cleveland wins it in easily 7-4. Satchel Paige is going to get the win in this game. He is now 2-2, and Lloyd Kittle is going to get the loss. He is 0-1. This should be Al Benton. That's correct. Al Benton gets the save, his fifth save. Ray Boone gets player of the game honors, going 1 for 3 with 3 RBIs as the Indians win it 7-4. Philadelphia was at Cincinnati. Ken Heinzelman on the mound for the Phillies, Howie Fox on the mound for the Reds. And in this game, the Reds win it in 9 innings, 6-5 with a run in the bottom of the ninth. Howie Fox gets the win for the Reds. He is now 3-9, and Heinzelman takes the loss. He is now 2-10. And Fox gets player of the game honors in this one as he goes all 9 innings with the win. Brooklyn is at Pittsburgh. Ralph Branca on the mound for the Dodgers to face Bob Chesney, second in the league in ERA for the Pirates. And Brooklyn comes out on top 4-3. Meant to mention in that last game, Dick Sisler hit a home run for Philadelphia, his first. Danny Litweiler hit one for the Reds, his fifth. In this game, Pee Wee Reese hit his eighth home run for the Dodgers. Wally Westlake hit his fifth for Pittsburgh, and Ralph Kiner hit his league-leading 22nd home run for the Pirates. Ralph Branca gets the win. He is now 9-3. Bob Chesney takes the loss at 6-4. Irv Palika on the gets the save. That is his sixth save of the year. Player of the game honors goes to Ralph Branca. New York was at Chicago with Monty Kennedy on the mound for the Giants against Bob Rush. And the Giants come out on top 3-2 with Kennedy getting the win, Rush the loss. Kennedy getting player of the game honors, going the distance, and only giving up 2 runs to Chicago in this one. No homers at Wrigley Field that day in this game. Finally, Boston is at St. Louis. Johnny Sain on the mound for the Braves. Harry Brecheen on the mound for the Cardinals. And in a slugfest, Boston beats St. Louis 12-11 with 6 runs in the top of the 8th inning after being behind 10-6. Bobby Hogue gets the win in relief. He is now 1-3. Ted Wilkes takes the loss. He is 2-3. Nels Potter is going to get the save for the Braves. That is his 7th save of the year. And Stan Musial is going to get player of the game honors in this one. So let's look at the box score and see why. Musial, big day, 4-for-4, 4 RBIs, raises his batting average to .349. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and play Detroit and New York. So the Tigers are at Yankee Stadium with Hal Newhouser on the mound for the Tigers, and he is going to face Fred Sanford for the Yankees. So here are the lineups for Detroit. Eddie Lake is going to lead off and play third base. Paul Campbell will bat second and play first. Vic Wertz is going to be in right field hitting third. Hoot Evers is going to be in left field batting cleanup. Aaron Robinson is the catcher hitting fifth. Johnny Groth in center field hitting sixth. Don Callaway at second base hitting seventh. Johnny Lippon at shortstop hitting eighth. And Hal Newhouser, 4-6 with a 4.89 earned run average, will be on the mound hitting ninth. For the Yankees, this is the first game I believe I've actually simmed with the Yankees this year in my replays. Jerry Coleman is going to lead off and play second base. Phil Rizzuto will bat second and play shortstop. Johnny Lindell will be in left field hitting third. Tommy Hendricks is going to play at first base, batting cleanup. Yogi Berra will catch and hit fifth. Billy Johnson is going to be at third base and hit sixth. Charlie Keller in limited duty this year is going to be in right field hitting seventh. The youngster Hank Bauer is going to be in center field in place of Joe DiMaggio, who was hurt at the beginning of the 1949 season and was not activated until late June. Bauer is hitting eighth. And Fred Sanford, 2-2 with a 3.0 ERA, will pitch and bat ninth. So this game is underway. And here we go. From Yankee Stadium in New York, it's Detroit and New York battling it out. So leading it off for the Detroit Tigers is going to be Eddie Lake, the third baseman. He is hitting .231, one homer, 11 runs batted in. Fred Sanford on the mound for the Yanks, and here we go. 3-2 pitch, and Lake rips it to right, and that ball is going to dunk in for a base hit right in front of Charlie Keller. And the Tigers have their leadoff man on with nobody out. Here's Paul Campbell. Campbell, .262 on the season, no homers, 18 runs batted in. Runner at first with nobody out. Campbell bunts. Pitcher Sanford over to field it off the mound. Throws it over to first for the first out with Lake moving down to second. Here's Vic Wertz. .318 on the season, 7 homers, 51 runs batted in. Left-handed hitter. 1-1 pitch to Vic Wertz, and Wertz is going to rip it into right field for a base hit. Lake moving, and he is going to hold up at third as the ball gets thrown back in. So first and third for the Tigers with one man out. Wertz with a single. Here's Hoot Evers. Evers is hitting .351 with 2 homers, 28 runs batted in. Yankees in trouble, first and third, 1 out for Hoot Evers on a 2-2 pitch. Evers hits it to center field, and that ball is caught by Hank Bauer for the second out and quickly thrown back into Rizzuto. So with 2 outs, the Yankees have a chance to get out of this. Aaron Robinson is now up. He's hitting .297 with 5 homers and 28 runs batted in. Aaron Robinson swings and misses for the third strike, and Newhouser gets out of the inning, leaving the Yankees leaving 2 men on. So we move to the bottom of the first. I'm sorry, Sanford got that man out. I beg your pardon. That was not Newhouser. Sanford got the last out with a strikeout. Excuse me. Here's Jerry Coleman. Coleman is hitting .247, no homers, 10 runs batted in. Right-handed hitter. Newhouser, a lefty, checks his sign. And the wind in the pitch, and Coleman pops it up. And Robinson gets down the line about halfway, makes the play for the first out. Here's Phil Rizzuto. Rizzuto hitting .262, no homers, 22 runs batted in. Newhouser to Rizzuto. Rizzuto swings and misses. Strike 3. First strikeout of the day for Newhouser. Here's Johnny Lindell. Lindell in limited appearances hitting .247, no homers, 3 runs batted in. Right-handed stick. 2-2, and Lindell is going to pop it up, and that ball is going to be caught by Don Callaway for the third out of the inning. So nothing doing for the Yankees in the bottom of the first. We move to the top of the second. Sanford to face Johnny Grove. Grove hitting .332 with 6 homers, 39 runs batted in. 2-2 pitch to Johnny Grove from the hand of Fred Sanford. And Grove is going to take a call third strike on the outside corner. Sanford with his second strikeout. Here's Don Callaway. Callaway hitting 278, no homers, 20 runs batted in. Right-handed hitter, Callaway, and he swings and misses for a strike out. That's the third strikeout now for Fred Sanford. And here's Johnny Lippon. Lippon, 241, one homer, 24 runs batted in. Full count, Lippon pops it up. And who's going to get this one? Looks like it's Callaway, even with the mound on the right side of the infield for the third out. Nothing doing there for Detroit. So here's Tommy Hendrick. Hendrick is at first base today. He's hitting 297, 13 homers, 44 runs batted in. Newhouser to face the left-handed hitting Hendrick. 3-2 pitch, and Hendrick drills it to center, and that ball is going to be caught by Johnny Grote for the first out of the inning. Yogi Berra up. Berra, 10 homers, 41 runs batted in, hitting 261. Left-handed hitter, Berra swings and misses. Newhouser gets him on a strike. That's Hal's second strikeout of the game. Here's Billy Johnson, the third baseman. 236 on the season, 3 homers, 17 runs batted in, a 3-0 count to Billy Johnson. And Johnson is going to take ball 4 inside, so Tigers have another runner on base with 2 outs. Here's Charlie Keller. Keller with limited plate appearances this year, hitting .435 with 5 runs knocked in. Keller playing right field today, left-handed batter, veteran, and that ball's ripped to first base, but Campbell has it. And 1 man left on for the Yanks as we move to the top of the third with Detroit and New York tied 0-0. Here's Newhouser. Newhouser, 194 with 5 runs added in. Here's a left-handed hitter to face Sanford. And he gets a bat on the ball, but he pushes it down to second to Coleman. Coleman throws it over to Hendrick for the first out. So top of the order up, Eddie Lake. Lake started the game off with a single, 1 for 1. Lake drills it down to second base. Coleman with another chance, picks it up, makes the play for 2 outs. Here's the scooter, Paul Campbell up. Campbell hitting 262. He walks first time up. Campbell swings and misses. Strike 3, and Fred Sanford gets his 4th strikeout of the day as the Tigers go down. So we move to the bottom of the second. Hank Bauer up, 281. Playing center field today. He does have 4 homers and 16 runs batted in. Bauer, right-handed hitter, full count, lined over to third. And Eddie Lake has it for the out, 1 man out. Here's Fred Sanford, 273 batting average for Sanford, but no homers or RBIs thus far. Sanford hits it to first base, little looper to Campbell, and that's the second out of the inning for Jerry Coleman, the leadoff man. Coleman 0 for 1. Newhouser pitches, and that ball misses outside, ball 4. On a 3-0 pitch, he walks Coleman. So here's Rizzuto. Scooter 0 for 1. Batting average now sitting at 261. 0-0 pitch, and Rizzuto grounds it to Lippon, but the throw is dropped by Don Callaway. They're going to give the error to Lippon. I'm not so sure why, but anyway, I can't tell from that play. But in any event, the Yankees have 2 men on them, like keeping a rally alive. Here's Johnny Lindell. Lindell 0 for 1 on the day, right-handed hitter. 2 outs, 2 on. Newhouser pitches, and he walks Lindell on a ball 4 pitch. And that's going to load the bases up for Hendrick. Hendrick 0 for 1 on the day. 2 outs, bases loaded. Here's Hendrick. Hendrick swings to right fielder Rick Wertz. That's a line out to right field. And they leave 3 men on. And we move to the top of the 4th with Detroit and the Yankees still tied at 0-0. Here's Vic Wertz, made the last out of the inning for Detroit. 1 for 1 on the day. Left-handed hitter, 0-1 pitch, and he squibs it down to third to Eddie Lake. Lake over with it, makes the play for 1 man out. Hoot Evers now up, 0 for 1 on the day for Evers. Right-handed batter, Sanford to Evers. Evers hits it down to second base. Coleman up with it, over to Hendrick for the second out. And here's Aaron Robinson catching. 0 for 1 for Robinson, left-handed stick. And that ball is going to drop into left field, an opposite field hit for Aaron Robinson as Lindell gets it back in. And the Tigers have a man on with 2 outs for Johnny Grove. Grove 0 for 1 on the day. 3-2 pitch, and Grove is going to rip it to center field for a base hit. And all the way over to third is Aaron Robinson on that play as Bauer gets the ball back in. So the Tigers have runners at first and third as Grove hits a 3-2 pitch to center field to keep the inning alive. So here's Callaway. Callaway is 0 for 1. Full count to Don Callaway, 2 outs. Callaway takes it inside, ball 4, and that is going to be actually the first walk of the day for Fred Sanford. So here's Lippon. Johnny 0 for 1. Chance right here. Put the Tigers on the board with a 2-out hit. Here's Johnny Lippon, and Lippon is going to rip it to left field for a base hit. Lindell's up with it. He's going to throw it home. The ball is going to get by Bearer, sliding in is Grove. And Johnny Lippon with a 2-run single. And Detroit is now ahead 2-0. Lippon moves down to second. Callaway is down at third with 2 outs, and the Tigers up 2-0. Here's Newhouser. 0 for 1. Newhouser swings and misses for strike 3. And Sanford gets out of the inning with his 5th strikeout, but not before giving up 2 runs on the single by Johnny Lippon. And the Tigers lead it 2-0. So here's Yogi Berra to lead it off for the Yankees in the bottom half of the 4th. Berra 0 for 1. Newhouser on the mound, lefty to a lefty, and Berra swings and misses. Strike 3. That's how Newhouser's 3rd strikeout of the day for Billy Johnson. Johnson, no official plate appearances today. Johnson hits it to right, but Wirtz is under it to make the play for the second out. Here's Charlie Keller. 0 for 1 for the right fielder, veteran Charlie Keller. Winding the pitch, and Keller is going to hit that one in the gap. Wirtz can't get to it. That's a base hit. So Keller is on first now with 2-man out 4. Hank Bauer playing center field today. Bauer 0 for 1. Newhouser to Bauer, and Bauer is going to hit a sharp ball down to Callaway, but Callaway can't come up with it, and that is going to be a single. So the Yankees keep the inning alive with Bauer hitting a hard shot. Infield single down to second base. So here's Fred Sanford. Sanford 0 for 1. 2 on, 2 out. Newhouser to Sanford, swinging a miss. As Newhouser records his 4th strikeout, the Yankees leave 2 more men on. And we move to the top of the 5th. Eddie Lake to lead it off for Detroit, to be followed by Paul Campbell and Vic Wirtz. So here's Eddie Lake. Lake is 1 for 2 on the day. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Eddie Lake goes down. Fred Sanford has thrown 81 pitches in this game, by the way. So here's Paul Campbell. Campbell is 0 for 1 officially. Now hitting 260. 0-0 pitch. Dropped right in front of the home plate. And Berra up with it. Down to Hendrick for the second out. And here's Vic Wirtz. Wirtz, 1 for 2 on the day. Left-handed hitter. Wirtz, 1-0, and that ball's drilled to right, but it's going to be right at Charlie Keller for the 3rd out. So we move to the bottom of the 5th. Coleman to lead it off for the Yankees. Down 2-0 to be followed by Rizzuto and Lindell. Newhouser, 71 pitches thrown in this game. 1-1 pitch, and Coleman pops it up. Callaway moves in by the mound to pick it up for the first out. Here's Rizzuto. Scooter 0 for 2, looking for his first hit. Newhouser on the mound and pitches, and there's Rizzuto popping it up. And that's going to go to Callaway 4 of a second out. And here's Johnny Lindell. Lindell is 0 for 1, playing left field today. Lindell takes a ball inside, ball 4, so he's going to move down first for Tommy Hendrick. Hendrick 0 for 2 today. 1-2 pitch to Tommy Hendrick from Hal Newhouser, and he is caught looking for a called third strike to get an ending inning for the Yankees. Newhouser's 5th strikeout of the day, and we move to the top of the 6th with the Tigers up 2-0. Hoot Evers to lead it off, 0 for 2 on the day. Sanford now has thrown 84 pitches. Evers hits down to Rizzuto. Rizzuto up with it over to Hendrick with the first out. And Aaron Robinson is now up. Robinson 1 for 2 on the day. Here's Robinson winding the pitch, and he takes inside ball 4. Sanford, that's his 2nd walk of the day. And here's Johnny Grove. Grove 1 for 2. Winding the pitch, Grove is going to be walked also. So, back to back, that's 3 walks in this game now for Fred Sanford. Here's Don Callaway with 2 on and 1 out. 3-2 full count pitch to Don Callaway, and Callaway takes the ball outside, ball 4. So now that's 3 walks in this inning for Fred Sanford. His 4 in total. And here's Johnny Lippon, who had a 2-run knock in the last inning, 1 for 2 on the day, put his team out ahead 2-0. It's a 1-1 pitch with the bases loaded and the infield pulled in, and Lippon is going to squeak one through for a base hit. 2 runs are going to score. Paul gets thrown back into second. Oh, that ball came home, they're saying. I didn't notice that. I thought it went to second base. In any event, Lippon has his 4th RBI of the day. And Detroit now leads it 4-0. Johnny Lippon with 4 RBIs on the day. And here is Newhouser 0 for 2 at the plate. Sanford down 4-0. Now it's thrown 105 pitches. So here's Newhouser with 1 out, and Newhouser hits it down to short, over to second, over to first. 6-4-3 double play, and that's going to end the inning. But the Tigers get 2 more runs and now lead it 4-0. So Newhouser is back out on the mound for Detroit to face Yogi Berra, Billy Johnson, and Charlie Keller. Yogi Berra 0 for 2 on the day. Newhouser swing, and that ball is down to Callaway. Callaway up with it over to Campbell for the first out. Here's Billy Johnson. Johnson 0 for 1 on the day officially. Left-handed pitcher, right-handed batter, and Johnson is going to get a free pass. That's how Newhouser's 5th walk of the day. And here's Charlie King Kong Keller. Keller is 1 for 2 on the day. In limited duty, he's now hitting 440. 1 out, 1 on Keller, and he rips it to right. And that ball is going to be caught. Deep fly ball, but Wirtz has it for the 2nd out. And here's Bauer. Bauer 1 for 2 on the day. So 2 outs, 1 on. Yanks down 4-0. 3-2 pitch, and Bauer hits it down to third. Lake over to Campbell to make the play. And the Yankees leave the man on. But we go to the top of the 7th inning now with Detroit up 4-0. Eddie Lake will lead it off to be followed by Paul Campbell and Vic Wirtz. Lake is 1 for 3 on the day. He's raised his average to 235. Fred Sanford still out there, 106 pitches thrown. So Lake is going to punch one out to center field. Bauer moves to his left, makes the play for the first out. Paul Campbell now up. Campbell 0 for 2 on the day. Batting average down to 259. Left-handed batter. Campbell is going to punch one into left field for a base hit. Lindell up with it as Campbell rounds first. And that's his first hit of the day. The Tigers now have 7 hits to the Yankees 2. Here's Vic Wirtz. Wirtz is 1 for 3 on the day. Left-handed hitter. Sanford looks in on a 2-2 pitch, and Wirtz is going to pop it up to the third baseman, Billy Johnson, who is right near the coaching box at third for that play. So here's Hoot Evers. Evers 0 for 3. looking for a hit. Runner on first, 2 outs. Evers with a 1-2 pitch. And that ball's hit to right field, but that is going to be caught by Charlie Keller for the third out. So we move to the bottom of the seventh. Newhouser still in command to face Spec Shea is going to bat. This is an interesting move here. Spec Shea, the relief pitcher, is going to come in, and he is going to pinch hit. He is 2 out of 7 at the plate this year. So Spec Shea swings and misses, strike 3. Here's Jerry Coleman, top of the order. Coleman 0 for 2 on the day, now hitting .244. Newhouser, Coleman down to Lake. Lake over to Campbell. 2-man out. Here's Rizzuto. Phil 0 for 2. Winding the pitch, pushed into right field, but Wirtz is running over it. He's not going to get to it. And that ball was hit a lot deeper than I thought, but it's going to go for a triple as Phil Rizzuto hits a triple to put a runner on third for the Yankees with 2 outs. And here's Johnny Lindell with a chance for an RBI. Lindell is 0 for 1. 114 pitches now by Newhouser. So here is Lindell, the Yankees with their third hit of the day. Lindell with a 3-1 pitch. And Lindell is going to take ball 4. He's going to go down to first. So with 2 outs, we've got Tommy Hendrick, a dangerous hitter, up right now. 0 for 3, though, in this game. So left-handed stick, 2 outs, 0-2 pitch to Hendrick, and Hendrick is going to go down swinging as Newhouser records his 7th strikeout. And Spec Shea is out on the mound for the Yankees. Let me give you his numbers real quick. Shea is 2-1 and has a 3.62 earned run average in 32.1 innings pitched. So here's Aaron Robinson. Robinson, 1 for 2 on the day from the plate. Robinson is going to hit a fly ball to right field, but that ball will not stay in the ballpark. It looked like it was going to be caught. Aaron Robinson with another homer. That is his 6th homer of the year, RBI number 29. And the Tigers are now up 5-0. Johnny Grove now up. Grove, 1 for 2 on the day. 8 hits now for Detroit. Grove swings, and that ball is going to go right to the left fielder, Lindell, for the first out of the inning. Here's Don Callaway. Callaway now hitting .276, 0 for 1 officially at the plate today. Callaway swings, and that ball is hit to the right to Coleman. Coleman over to Hendrick for the second out. And that brings up Johnny LaPon, the hero of the day, 2 for 3 at the plate with 4 runs knocked in. LaPon now hitting .247. Winding the pitch by Shea, and LaPon is going to take a called third strike. And that ends the inning, a 3-2 pitch. We move to the bottom of the 8th inning. Yankees down 5-0. So Berra is going to face Newhouser. Newhouser is on 122 pitches in this game. Yogi is 0 for 3. Let's see if he can get a hit here off of Newhouser. And Newhouser winds and pitches. Weak ball to first base. Paul Campbell picks it up, runs over to first to make the play for the first out. Here's Billy Johnson. Johnson 0 for 1 officially at the plate. Hal Newhouser still out there. A wind and a pitch with 1 out. And that's a ball hit down the third base line. But Eddie Lake is up for it with a long throw over to first with the second out. And here's Charlie Keller. Keller, 1 for 3 on the day, playing right field. Part-time role this year for the Yankees. A 1-2 pitch to Charlie Keller from from Hal Newhouser. And that ball is ripped to left for a base hit. So Charlie Keller has his 2nd hit of the day. Newhouser still out there. He's got 1 more man to face here to get out of the 8th inning, and that's Hank Bauer. Dangerous hitter. 1 for 3 on the day for Bauer, now hitting .282. 2 outs. 0-2 pitch to Bauer. and Bauer swings and misses strike three. Hal Newhouser with his eighth strikeout of the day, and the Yankees go down 5. They are down 5-0 with 3 outs left to go. Here's Newhouser. He's going to bat for himself. I don't know why, but he's going to. Newhouser is 0 for 3 at the plate today. Spec Shea entering his second. He's got one. Came in with actually has 1.1 innings under his belt today, so he's kind of technically starting his second inning of pitch. Here's Spec Shea. 1-2 pitch to Newhouser. Newhouser takes a call, third strike, so Spec Shea gets his second strikeout of the day. Here's Eddie Lake. Lake, 1 for 4 on the day, so Lake to face Shea, and Lake is going to be called for a third strike inside half plate. Third strikeout of the day for Spec Shea, and here's Paul Campbell. Campbell is 1 for 3 on the day. 8 hits still for the Tigers, 4 for the New York Yankees. Here's Campbell on a 1-2 pitch, and that's a 1-2-3. All struck out. Shea with his 4th strikeout of the day. And so we're going to have a pinch hitter now for Spec Shea. Charlie Silvera, a backup catcher, is going to bat. Silvera is hitting .320, 1 run knocked in. Defense remains the same. Evers in left, Groth in center, Wirtz in right, Campbell at first, Callaway second, Lippon at short, Eddie Lake over at third, Aaron Robinson behind the plate. Tigers with a 5-1 cushion. Let's see if Newhouser can finish this game out. He's thrown 132 pitches. Silvera, the pinch hitter, nobody out. Silvera's hitting .333 as a pinch hitter, but this one is going to be a pop-up, and Eddie Lake moves in to make the play for the first out of the inning, and that moves us up to the top of the order with Jerry Coleman up. Coleman is 0 for 4 and in a slump. Now hitting, he's 0 for 3. He's now hitting .243. So here's Coleman, 1 out, 2 more to get out for Newhouser. Checks, 2-2 pitch. Coleman swings and misses as Hal Newhouser gets his 9th strikeout of the day. So that's going to leave it up to Phil Rizzuto to keep the inning alive. Rizzuto, 1 for 4. Newhouser with a 2-1 pitch to the scooter. And here it comes. And Rizzuto rips it to right, but Wirtz is going to be waiting for it right there to make the play. And Hal Newhouser picks up a 4-hit shutout today for Detroit. Going the distance, here's your totals. Detroit wins this game 5-0. They score 5 runs on 8 hits, 1 error, and they left 6 men on base. For New York, no runs, 4 hits, 1 error. New York left 11 men on base in this game. Could not drive them in. There was 1 homer in this game. Aaron Robinson hit a homer in the 6th inning off a Spec Shea with nobody on. Rizzuto had hit a triple in the 7th inning, his 3rd, but was not able to score. Fred Sanford takes a tough loss. He is now 2-3 on the season. Hal Newhouser wins it, and he is now 5-6. Well, thank you for joining me for this 49 season replay, and I look forward to being back with you soon. Until then, good night.